Heyo, my name is Chupacabra, and today we're going to be play-by-playing the 8th track of the NAFCAR season, City Escape. We're going to go over the NAFCAR track facts, along with the share codes associated with the event, and then I'm going to talk you through the track, giving you tips, tricks, ideas, general build philosophy, and things of that nature. After this, we have 2 more play-by-play videos to go over, and then we'll be releasing races 11 through 15 on the NAFCAR schedule, so make sure you come back to the channel so you don't miss out. Alrighty, let's jump right into the NAFCAR track facts. The name of this event is City Escape, and it's the 8th race of the NAFCAR season. We have 2 share codes associated with the event, and we'll circle around and tackle these after the NAFCAR track facts. The track style is a trail race, which means the ending location is different from the starting location. The track motif is paved road. 100% of this course will be done on paved road. The starting location is Copper Canyon Sprint, and the entire course length is 10.5 miles. The total racing distance will also be 10.5 miles, and that's because it is a trail event. This race is the shortest trail race we have on the schedule, in terms of both distance and time. Tire wear is rated a 2 out of 5, which means you should expect to use anywhere between 30 and 50% of your tires. For this track, tire wear isn't really a big deal. What is a big deal is keeping your tires fresh and cool. The warmer your tires are, the more of a chance you're going to slide around a turn, and this course is extremely technical. Damage wear is rated a 1 out of 5, and this means you should accrue no natural damage throughout the course of the event. AI bots are rated a 5 out of 5, which means they handle this track perfectly. This track should take you about 8 minutes to complete, and with all these things in consideration, we give this course a difficulty rating, and it is a 3 out of 5, which means experienced Forza Horizon 5 players may find this course a little challenging. We're going to talk about this course a lot in a lot of different aspects, so keep a lot of these NAFCAR track facts in mind. Alrighty, let's switch over to the NAFCAR share codes. For the City Escape, it doesn't matter whether you have damage on or off. What matters is the type of car you are driving. If you're driving an S1 retro sports car, go ahead and use that share code in brackets. This is the official NAFCAR race that we use throughout the season. If you're using any other car class or car type, go ahead and use the share code in stars. This is the same event except it's set to open class so you can use whatever you want. So those are the track facts and share codes. Let's jump right into the play-by-play. Alrighty, as I said, this 10.5 mile course is extremely technical. Basically, we'll be racing throughout the city. City racing is full of tight turns and narrow passages. So really the best way to get around this track is by putting the bumper to someone in your way. The course has this small introduction. This introduction is the fastest part of the track, where you'll reach speeds at about 165 miles per hour. This is a heavy braking zone, followed by a hairpin turn, which will bring you to the start of the actual city. As you can see, it's extremely tight as all the cars are bouncing around each other and off me. So I'm racing with simulation damage on, and as you can see, I'm not really taking a lot of damage because really we aren't going that fast. That's essentially the theme of this whole track. Because of how tight it is and how many turns, the only way you're going to get around someone is by putting the bumper to them. If you're strategic about how you do it, you will accrue no damage from these bumps, although you might aggravate your fellow racers. So we entered the city a little while ago and we're going down this main back road. We top out at about 145, which is the fastest we will be until the end of the race. We then go into this big wide U-turn. These turns are where you're going to get around somebody. Did you notice that car took the inside lane? He was able to push me up and get by. Now here, as we enter what we call the tire turns, that car hit my back bumper and pushed me way farther than I wanted to go. And once again, that's a textbook pass for this racetrack. A lot of these turns, you want to hug that inside lane or that inside turn, just as I'm doing here through these S-curves. For the first 7 races, you notice that usually when you set up to pass somebody or take a turn, that's usually the only turn you have to worry about. This is one of the first courses where it's not only important to set up your first turn, but you want to also set up your second and sometimes even your third turns. A lot of times if you mess up a turn, it's also going to mess up the following 2 or 3 turns. And that's where you'll lose most of your time and a lot of your positions. The other thing that makes it different than all the other tracks before this is the fact that there's buildings on both sides of you. If you touch one of these buildings, it essentially acts like a wall and it's going to totally destroy your car. A lot of NASCAR tracks aren't built with walls on both sides, and this is just the nature of racing I want to bring to NASCAR. We don't wall ride in NASCAR. So if you make a mistake, it's usually open grass or there's a way to remedy that mistake. When you race with walls on both sides, there is no room for error. And we are now getting to the point in the season where this is going to become a commonplace. And that also changes how you build your cars as well. It's important that you build your car with the best handling possible, because if your car does not handle the way it should, you're going to find yourself in one of these buildings or walls. So what you do is you take a lot of that high speed out of the car, knowing that, hey, you won't be going above 165 miles per hour for 90% of the race. For this track, it is more important that your car can handle the center of return than it is to go out as fast as you can. As you may have just seen, we have just entered a tunnel. This track is unique in the fact that there's tunnels, and tunnels operate a little differently than buildings do. When you go through a tunnel, it's super important to take your time and not wash up and damage the side of your car, essentially wide rolling around it. It's important to pay attention in front of you, because if somebody washes up and does hit that wall, usually it causes a back chain and you can run into the back of somebody, destroying your front and the rear of the car. We've reached roughly 50% of this track. As we take this left-hand turn, you will see the pinatas through the straightaway. This represents the halfway point, and you get an additional bonus point if you're leading at the halfway mark. The first half of this track is relatively slow, but the second half is a little quicker, but we're not reaching that top speed of 165 at all. This part of City Escape is also more in line of a typical NASCAR track, where you don't have walls on both sides and there's some room for error. Try and feather the throttle coming around both these turns. This is a good section if you're trying to make up some time on somebody. It's downhill, and there's some very important braking points. So if you can outbrake your opponent, you will be able to make it through there no problem. So we have a hard left-hand turn, followed by this hard right-hand turn. I'm going to get hit in the back. He's going to move me out of the way. Notice how he hit me, and I had a huge slide, just skyrocketing my tire temperatures. The higher my temperatures were, the more damage was done to my tire. And it kind of makes it a little tough because it's hard to get that heat back out. So for a few seconds, you're kind of on your own there with no tire grip. It's a perfect example on why you need to take care of your tires as you go throughout these turns. Alrighty, here we are coming through another one of these tunnels. This part of the track, we're going to start seeing a lot more of these tunnels. This course actually ends in the tunnel, and we'll discuss that here in a second. We have this huge downhill, huge braking zone, hard left-hand turn, and we're going to go uphill. This portion of the track has a lot of different elevation changes, so it's important to keep that in mind. Go another downhill, and you're going to have a hard right-hand turn. As you can see, those tires right there, you don't want to go through those. That's actually going to be the finish line. We're going to exit the tunnel onto this ramp. You want to be careful coming through there. You can actually hit the side of that wall and mess up your car pretty good. Hard left-hand turn, up some more hills. As I said, huge elevation changes coming up. For this part, you're mostly going uphill and trying to hit this braking point here with the left-hand turn. Some more uphill. As you can see, buildings on both sides, so you want to be very cautious. It's more important that you take your time coming through here, because it is a faster part of the track, and it is different and unique from everything up until this point. Trying to make this turn, I'm going to wash up the track a little bit, and that's just because of tire degradation. This track really isn't that fast. You really don't notice it, but for whatever reason, this part of the track you really do. I think it is the wider turns, whereas the very beginning you were doing basically 90-degree angles. Come through here, back to building on both sides, just trying to take it easy, trying to hit my turns. Hug the bottom of this turn. Small straightaway, trying to get some speed. This part coming up here, super important to hug this part right here, super important. When you go through that area, you really want to make the track as small as possible and hug that turn. But you gotta be careful because there are tire barriers there, and those are the non-hittable ones. If you hit it, you're gonna totally destroy your car. Coming to some more downhill section, the last final part of the track. Gradual right-hand turn here, then we're gonna go to this left hand. Walls on both sides. We're about to get to the final tunnel section. From here on out, it'll be nothing but tunnels, so it's really important that you really take your time coming through here. Wash up the track a little bit. Bad tires at this point, about 44%. Just trying to survive. Trying not to hit the wall, because you hit the wall, it's basically going to dead stop you and destroy everything. The final turn here, and that is it. That is the Great City Escape. As you can see, if you don't get it, you actually don't escape. You just go forever and ever and ever. So, a little fun fact. I don't know, maybe you find that funny. Awesome. Well, that's all I have for this video. As I've said with my other play-by-play videos, I'm experimenting with this. Still trying to figure out what I really want to do with quote-unquote play-by-play. I really appreciate your support, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, night, morning, day.